It's not about the money, money, money. We don't need your money, money, money. We just wanna make the world dance. Forget about the price tags. Ain't about the cha-ching, cha-ching. Ain't about the ba-bling, ba-bling. Wanna make the world dance. Forget about the price tags. Oh, these unnecessary intros. What is wrong with me? What is going on, everyone? How are you doing? I hope you're doing good, because it is good to feel good. And I am absolutely buzzing because this weekend it is WWE's Money in the Bank, and I'm excited for a few reasons. One, for the fact that this is the first time that a major WWE pay-per-view, or premium live event if you want to get serious about this, has taken place in London for the first time in 21 years. So the last time a major show happened in London was Insurrection 2002, and it's crazy to think, to put this into perspective, given how many years I've been enjoying wrestling. I was 5 years old then, back in 2002. I'm now 26, so worth the wait, I guess. Anyway, I'm also excited for the fact that I'm going to be there in person. I'm going to be attending Smackdown this Friday night, and then I'm also going to be attending Money in the Bank itself on Saturday. And then also, it's the first time that I've been to any wrestling event whatsoever for the first time in nearly 3.5 years, so that's a long wait, but it's worth it. And what I'm going to do for this video is I'm going to be doing my Money in the Bank predictions. So, without further ado, I think we should just dive right into it. Do our Money in the Bank predictions, or as Mercedes Money would call it, Money in the Bank. Let's just go ahead and do the predictions. Starting off strong, we have Gunther versus Matt Riddle for the Intercontinental Championship. And I think it's a given at this point that Gunther will be the one to break the Honky Tonk Man's record as the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion. I mean, I said that back in my WrestleMania predictions, and sure enough, he retained. That match was absolutely incredible at WrestleMania, and I definitely think, you know, Gunther is just going to keep continuing to put on bangers until he breaks that record. And I think there will come a time where someone does go eventually beat him for the Intercontinental Championship, but in the meantime, let Gunther be the one to break that record. And with that being said, I've got Gunther to retain. Next up, we have Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. And I definitely think, you know, I want to say, you know, let Ronda and Shayna have a decent reign and, you know, be like an unstoppable tag team. But at the same time, their character work is just non-existent. I'm just not invested in them as, like, you know, on the microphone. I know Ronda is genuinely weak on the microphone, but I'm just not buying them, like, you know, as a dominant force. I mean, I'm sure, yes, they've just beaten Alba Fire and Isla Dawn to unify their tag team titles with the NXT Women's Tag Team titles, but even besides that, I'm not buying them. Really sorry, but at the same time, I want to see, you know, Raquel and Liv, you know, regain the tag team titles and pick up from where they left off. So with that being said, I know Ronda and Shayna have only held the tag team titles for a month. I would like to see Raquel and Liv pick up the victory and, you know, again, pick up from where they left off. So fingers crossed. Next up, we have Cody Rhodes versus Dominik Mysterio. It was quite an interesting match. So, of course, the whole story revolves around, you know, Dominik just being a child. He is basically a child. Put that into perspective, I'm only a few months older than Dominik, and it's funny, like, how Dominik has really been getting on. Do you know what? Again, I mentioned it before that I wasn't initially too keen on Dominik, but he's grown on me over time, and in his character work, you know, week after week has been incredible. You know, he's flanked by, you know, his fellow members of the Judgment Day, and especially his mommy, Rhea Ripley. And, oh, it's going to be some good stuff. Now, I reckon there's going to be some shenanigans in this match. I'm not going to lie, because I know, obviously, week after week, you know, Dominik's been getting his cheap shots in on Cody Rhodes, but, you know, if Cody Rhodes is in any doubt, he can always call for backup. I mean, This week on Raw, we saw Pharaoh backstage, so if Cody is up for bringing Pharaoh to the United Kingdom just so he can get involved in this match, that would be wonderful. But at the same time, I feel like Cody needs a victory to keep himself, you know, going strong, especially after passing out to Brock Lesnar at Night of Champions. So yeah, let's keep him going strong for a little while, and I do think it is going to be a matter of time before he finds himself back in the championship picture, but maybe not at SummerSlam, but maybe a little while down the line. We'll just wait and see. Next up we have Seth FREAKIN Rollins versus Finn Bálor for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, I'm going to be completely honest, I wasn't initially sold on the idea of rebooting the World Heavyweight Championship, just because at the time I thought, you know, Roman's still the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, and I mean, he's not going to lose it anytime soon, and obviously that was evident after WrestleMania. But then, of course, they announced they were reintroducing the World Heavyweight Championship, and I thought, initially, this is just a consolation prize, isn't it? For those who, you know, went up against Roman for the championship and obviously came up short, this is your consolation prize. But I tell you what, I've been proven wrong, because Seth Rollins, as the first World Heavyweight Champion of this lineage, has been decent, really good. You know, he's been putting on open challenges on Raw. Hell, he defended it against Bron Breakker in NXT last week, you know, he's doing decent stuff with the championship, and it's not even a few months old at this point. So good on Seth Rollins for doing the good stuff and, you know, being a serviceable champion in this first reign. Now, I love the dynamic of this being the fact that Finn Bálor 7 years ago faced Seth Rollins to become the first ever Universal Champion. That was SummerSlam 2016. Unfortunately, Bálor got injured in the process during that match. Of course, the buckle bomb into the barricade, which, you know, injured his shoulder. That was a really sad time for Finn Bálor, and I felt really sorry for him back then. But at the same time, you know, as time has gone on, you know, that's been lingering on his mind, and, you know, it's his first time to, you know, prove himself against Seth Rollins after all these years. I know they've crossed paths time and time over again, but on a one-to-one basis, this is going to be the first time that, you know, they've, you know, been in this kind of position like it was back at SummerSlam 2016. However, I don't think Finn Bálor is going to win just yet. I think Finn Bálor might be champion somewhere down the line, but at the same time, I want to see Seth Rollins have a decent first reign as World Heavyweight Champion. So I've got Seth Rollins to retain on this. Next up, we have the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match consisting of Bayley, Io Sky, Trish Stratus, Zoe Stark, Becky Lynch, and Zelina Vega. All 6 women all have a capable chance of winning that, although saying that, that's how the match works. Everyone's got a fighting chance of winning. But also, I like the dynamic that, you know, Becky and Trish can continue their story with the assistance of Zoe Stark backing up Trish. I feel like there are cracks in damage control, especially for Bayley and Io Sky. I think that's going to be one of the focal points during the match. And also, it's nice to see Zelina Vega in there. She's been doing some great stuff these last months. So, all good stuff all around. I think there's going to be some really incredible spots throughout this match. And I think the winner that I have in mind is Io Sky. So, that would be lovely to see Io Sky. I think she's definitely up for, you know, a big old babyface push. So let's you know, go sky high. See what I did there? For Io Sky. Now, I am going to just quickly say this. This is an unpopular opinion of mine, but I really don't want to see a cash-in on the same night. This goes for the men's match as well, but I don't want to see a Money in the Bank cash-in on the same night, because I feel like in the past 5 years in particular, it's been a trope that's been done to death. In fact, in the last 5 years, every winner of the women's match has either cashed in on the same night, cashed in the night after, or in the case of Asuka, she was awarded the championship the night after. And yeah, it just feels like it's done to death at this point. So I would like to see whoever wins it, of course my prediction, Io Sky, hold it for a little while, you know, play the long game and, you know, wait their time. And then when the opportunity knocks and the timing's right, then cash in on the women's champion or the women's world champion, whoever they may be, and just have a nice, good, decent reign. But yeah, my ultimate prediction for this match, Io Sky. Next up, we have the men's Money in the Bank ladder match consisting of Butch, Damian Priest, Santos Escobar, Shinsuke Nakamura, Ricochet, LA Knight, and Logan Paul. This is such a great field for this match, and it's interesting to note that none of them have been former WWE World Champions. I'm sure, yes, there are some participants who have been World Champions in other promotions, but that's besides the point. When you come to WWE, that doesn't matter. But I think this is going to be a really great match. Now, an unpopular opinion that I have is that I would not be against Logan Paul winning, per se, but I'm just hoping that his time with the briefcase isn't like a dud and, you know, his cash in ends in disappointment or something like that. Because I feel like there have been a few dud winners in the last few years. I mean, I'm looking at people like Braun Strowman, I'm looking at people like Otis, I'm looking at Austin Theory last year. Especially with the latter, Austin Theory just, let's be honest, knowing that Roman was champion for some time, there was no chance in hell that he was going to, you know, cash in on Roman and win the Undisputed Universal Championship. And quite ironically, his failed cash-in attempts were more memorable than his actual cash-in, which was against Seth Rollins for the United States Championship, and that it just didn't make sense. You sacrificed Money in the Bank for the sake of, you know, him not cashing in on Roman. Then you may as well have just cashed in on Roman and lost the briefcase anyway. It just made no sense for him to cash in on Seth Rollins and lose. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. I'm really hoping this is going to be a really decent match. I'm hoping Logan and Ricochet run back their little spot from the Royal Rumble. And ultimately, if I have to go with a winner, I'm sure he is the odds-on fan favourite. But I'm going to go for LA Knight. Yeah! And finally, we have the Bloodline Civil War pitting Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa versus the Usos. And oh, this has been spicy. I initially thought the Bloodline has run its course at WrestleMania. That's where I thought, you know, that was where it was going to all end. And, you know, Cody was going to beat Roman to become champion, but of course that didn't happen. But then, of course, there's been this slow building dynamic where Roman has been very reluctant to trust the Usos after they lost their tag titles. Then, of course, at Night of Champions, you had, you know, Roman and Solo being unsuccessful against Kevin and Sami for the titles. And, of course, Jimmy Uso super kicking Roman, kicking himself out of the Bloodline. But then, of course, Jey Uso then, you know, finally, you know, delivering a beating to Roman a few weeks ago. That felt so satisfying. And considering that has been a slow build for nearly 3 years now, where Jey Uso has, you know, been trustworthy of the Bloodline all that time. You know, he was a bit reluctant early this year, especially with the whole Sami Zayn problem, the whole thing surrounding Sami Zayn, and of course turning on Sami Zayn, and that match itself, WrestleMania, chef's kiss. And then of course now you have Solo Sikoa. He is literally the solo person who is still trustworthy to Roman Reigns in a wrestling capacity. Of course, you've still got, you know, the special counsel in Paul Heyman, but again, like echoing what Cody Rhodes said earlier this year, I think Solo is probably going to be the next one to leave Roman, and then it may just be back to where we were when this all began, where it's just Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. I don't know, but I think for this match, I think considering, you know, the team took a beating at Night of Champions last month, I think Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa will beat the Usos. I do still think that, you know, there's still some, like, you know, life in this, but I just think, you know, for this point, I think Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa will beat the Usos. So that's my prediction. Yeah, those are my predictions. I'm really looking forward to this weekend ahead. Like, I'm just looking forward again to the fact that it's the first wrestling event I've attended in so long, and also for the fact that it's just going to be incredible. Like, you know, the UK crowds had some of the best atmospheres in my opinion, and I think this weekend we are not going to disappoint. So I'm looking forward to being there in person. I'm going to be vlogging this weekend as well. I'm going to be vlogging Smackdown and Money in the Bank, so look out for those on my channel in due course. And as always, I will leave you with some advice, and that is always to enjoy yourself, stay safe, and make the most of every opportunity that comes your way. Thank you for watching, and peace.